everyone's in the same boat, but you just have to understand that it's going to take time and effort for you to get back on track. And then there's things that you can do in prevention. And I feel like understanding is the first step, is understanding that if you don't pay attention to what's happening, you're going to be in trouble in September.
Welcome to Exploring Mind and Body with Drew Tadia. Drew is an expert in nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. And he wants to help you live a healthier, longer, and more active life. Now here's your host, Drew Tadia.
Welcome to another edition of nationally syndicated Exploring Mind and Body. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our True Form Life community. We're coming at you with a brand new show. We appreciate whether you're listening on terrestrial radio across the country or as a podcast around the world. We certainly wouldn't be here without you. So stick around. We got all that coming up.
This is Exploring Mind and Body. Naturally improve your lifestyle one show at a time with your host, Drew Tadia.
How we doing out there? How's everyone doing this morning? So today we're going to be talking about how to avoid summer weight gain, and it's a real thing. I gotta tell you, it's a real thing. And we have more people gain more weight over the summer than they do during the holidays, which is crazy. Most people don't know that. They think that, the summer guy works so hard to get some beach bodies or get in better shape, and then you think that weight's not going to accumulate throughout the summer. So it's a real thing. So that's going to be our topic today. So thank you guys for joining us this morning. So when it comes to summer weight gain, I think it's important I just want to jump in and tell you, one of the most staggering stats, what most people don't really think of or maybe don't even believe, is that September is our busiest time as a nutrition and fitness company. September. Let that sink in for a second, because everyone thinks that it's January, but it's not January. Our Januaries the last couple of years have been busy, fortunately for us. But in most cases, November, December is crazy. We're spending a lot of money on gifts and presents. And then January comes along and a lot of people are paying off their credit cards or paying off their bills. So then things start to get busier in February, March, maybe. But September is slammed. And I really feel like it's the same thing when I worked in gyms. When we were in and around gyms, September was the busiest time. It was jam-packed and people were like, oh my gosh, what have I done with myself all summer? We know we gained weight. We know we don't fit in our clothes anymore. Our schedules are kind of upside down. And now it's time to try to get back into shape or get back into routines. So what we want to talk about today is to help you beat that summer weight gain and try to get into some routines and keep understanding that this is a lifestyle. You have to continue to live a healthy lifestyle, and that's going to make a big difference.
I think one of the biggest things we all do this, is our mindset. We're like, oh, it's just one party. Oh, it's just one drink. Oh, it's just one hot dog or hamburger, whatever it is. But then you make the excuse one time, or the exception one time, and then it happens over and over and over again. Or it's vacation, or we're just camping for the weekend. Then on Monday I'll get on track, but it never happens.
No, and we hear that it's the summertime. Let's just relax and have a good time. So without understanding that it's going to add up, and so is that weight gain. The drinks are going to add up, the barbecues are going to add up, the late nights, they're going to add up. So without understanding that,
how many times have you done that?
Yeah, it adds up. And I really feel like we have that mindset of, it's 80-20, or is that what they say? 80-20?
Yeah.
80% and I'll be on track, and then 20%, but 20% turns into 80% if that's your mindset. And it's like I said, it's the summertime. It's all weekend, and maybe it might be different in other parts of the world. I don't know what it's like in LA because it's always nice there for the most part. But in Alberta, we have a very short summer, 2, maybe 3 months of actually going out and having outside fires or camping or spending time outdoors, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. Mm-hmm. But it's all going to add up, I guess is what we're saying. And if you don't do something about it now, September is going to roll around and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, what did I do to myself?
And then September's crazy. September's a crazy month usually anyway, because it's getting back into a routine, right? Getting back into school routine for kids or work routine if you're off for the summer. So why add one more thing, I guess, is what I'm trying to say to your plate. And it's funny because I don't know the statistics, you might know, but out of the 6 to 8 weeks over summer that we let go of our lifestyle, of our healthy habits, it takes probably how long to get them back? Like so much longer to get it back.
So much. Well, it's not just the time, it's the effort. Of it seems like, and we've all been there. You know what? Because it's the convenience. Like it's convenient to not meal plan. Like you have to go out of your way and go grocery shopping. So it's convenient to be like, I'll just get some bag salads for the week, or I'll just go out for lunch. Like it's convenient to go to the convenience store. It's convenient to go to the drive-thru or just skip your workouts. Like that's easy. So to continually put the effort in is more of a challenge. So we have to understand that the longer we put in that time and effort, the easier it's going to become. However, the longer you stop doing those, putting that time and effort in, the harder it's going to be to get back on track. Most of us, I don't think people know. I don't think in most cases we know that summer is the time where we accumulate the most amount of weight. It's not the holidays. It's not December. It's the summertime. And then when September comes, it's like we don't lose it in September. It doesn't happen. We accumulate that each year. And then 5 years down the road, we're like, oh my gosh, like how did I gain 30 pounds? It's because of losing those healthy habits. And then September comes and we get a gym membership for 2 or 3 weeks. And then we're like, this is a bit more challenging than I expected. I'm not interested.
Well, because it probably starts even pre-summer, right? Like, because you're getting excited for summer. So May long, let's say it starts, like you're getting excited for summer, and when excitement's high, you kind of let go of some of your normal healthy habits. So then you have like 3 months, let's say, of catch up to do, but you expect results in a couple of weeks or by the end of September, right? You're like, oh, September, I'm going to get my gym membership and I'm going to do the healthy things and eat healthy and get back on track. But then people expect to be back where they were before May long in like 2 or 3 weeks. It's usually how it works, when it probably will take a few months, right?
100%. Yeah, we don't realize that what all that time and effort that takes and how long of a stretch it is. I think it's, like you said, it's not just July and August. It's April, May, June, July and August. And then, of course, at least in Alberta, it's still nice for halfway through September, end of September, maybe, if we're lucky. Yeah. And then October gets a bit colder. So it could be like 5 months of you being like, having a summer mindset. Yeah,
it's so true. And we're not going to sit here and pretend that we're perfect. Like we have.
Well, I'm pretty perfect.
No, what I'm saying is like, we're like at the campfire, we'll have the odd s'more, or we'll have a barbecue or the odd drink here and there. Like it's not.
The odd karaoke night.
Oh,
Dave?
yeah, karaoke.
Like it's
my jam.
Everyone's in the same boat, but you just have to understand that it's going to take time and effort for you to get back on track. And then there's things that you can do in prevention. And I feel like understanding is the first step, is understanding that if you don't pay attention to what's happening, you're going to be in trouble in September.
One of the big things in keeping your routine comes back to having an evening routine and a morning routine. But, and Drew and I are big on bedtime routine, because we're up early. But one of the things we've been noticing that is super hard, because Drew and I actually just had a conversation about the lack of effort that has been around our evening routine. Because normally we go to bed around 8:30, 9, and we're up at 4. So, but we need to go to bed earlier. But now that it's so light out,
it's hard.
You don't want to miss the sunshine, or you don't want to be sleeping when it's sunny. So you extend your day a little bit. So it was getting to 9:30, 10 that we were actually going to bed. And then it just to be up at 4 is just really not enough time. So we had that discussion the other day.
Yeah. So then mornings turn into 4:30, 5, and we're like, just don't feel as productive getting up later. So that's just being open and honest about what we, like, everyone's in the same boat. I'm saying it takes that time and effort. People are like, oh, it's just easy for you guys. No, it's not. It takes constant, continual effort for us too. So we had to reset and be like, hey, if we want to get up early and get our day
going.
Yeah. Get our day set up for success, then we have to go to bed earlier.
Yeah. And you're always, it's like, it's not, there's, unfortunately, you're always like resetting and refocusing. It's not like an end to the journey, right? Yeah. Like, oh, I made it. I'm here. I'm on the other side.
Done.
Check.
Emma says, I feel like people are more likely to overeat in the summer at barbecues and get-togethers.
So true.
100%.
So true. There's just, because it's so nice out, there's just so many things going on. And then it's like, what's really famous for the summer is that, oh, we're having a barbecue. Everybody bring an appetizer. Like that's quite common, right? Mm-hmm. So then you get to the barbecue and like in traditional times, there was a bunch of people, like 10, 20 people, let's say, at the barbecue. And if each person brought something, an appetizer, then you have all of this food.
Mm-hmm. So, and then it's not just, and you're there for a few hours, right? Yeah. It's not like when you eat at home, you eat for, well, most people eat in like minutes. We talk about mindful eating and giving your body a chance to digest food, but a lot of people eat in minutes. Like you sit at home and you're eating for 15, 20 minutes, or you're on the run eating, and which wreaks havoc on your digestive system. But when you're at barbecues or hanging out with friends, you're eating for 2 or 3 hours. It's a social thing. You're sitting there eating a hot dog. Later on, you got some s'mores, coleslaw. You know how it goes. We don't want people, sometimes people, like there's certain foods that we don't really eat, and we don't want people to feel uncomfortable with our food choices. And it happens quite often. And people are like, oh, what am I going to eat? Like, what are we going to feed you guys? We hear it all the time. And we're like, in most cases, we can find something to eat. In every case, we'll find something to eat. It's not like we're going to sit there and starve ourselves or like awkward, be like, no, thanks, we don't eat that. But I think it's nice for everyone. Like we in most cases, we offer to bring something, or even if the people say, no, you don't have to bring anything, we still bring something. And I think it's just nice. It's polite, and it gives you something to eat that's healthier or along the lines of what you want. So it's definitely important to bring your own dish.
Drew doesn't go anywhere without food, without his little cooler. Day tripping, Drew brings this cooler.
You don't want to see the hangry come out.
What is that meme that says you got about 27 seconds or 27 minutes or something to get food? What is that one?
Yeah, to get food in me before I turn into a different
person. That's true. Drew without food, completely different person. I'm like, who are you right now? Would you like go eat or something?
It's my blood sugar levels.
I'm like,
it's a disease.
You're not even you right now. Just go eat and come back. Can't handle you.
I need food. But the thing is, it's funny. We joke about it all the time, and I'm okay with that. But the funny thing is I think a lot of people are like that. A lot of people have low blood sugar levels. They don't get the nutrients they need. Food also helps your mind, like mental clarity, because when you're hungry, your mind only almost runs out, and you need energy. You need food and fuel. So I feel like a lot of people deal with emotional issues all day long, or angry, upset, tired, miserable because they're not getting the nutrients their body needs. So if you had more nutrients, you would be in a better mood.
Yeah.
Who doesn't feel fantastic after you have a good meal?
Right.
It's different if you have like big old plate of pasta, or maybe you have a cheeseburger. Like, you're not going to be like, oh, let's go. If you have a nice, clean, healthy meal, it gives you energy. You had something to say there, but I didn't let you talk.
I don't know what I was going to say, actually. Because here in Alberta, our summers are so short, I feel like there is this pressure on us in some way. Not like a negative pressure, but there's this pressure on us in some way to jam pack it. Like, just jam your summer full of all of the things, right? Because they're so short. So then there's like Anna said, like the unscheduled things that you don't want to say no to because it's summer.
It's true. It's true. And we hear that. We often hear that people say, well, that's where the 80-20 comes in. Like, oh, it's only summertime, or it's only one barbecue, but it's not. It's quite a bit more.
And we're not saying to say no to those things. We're just going to talk about here how you can, what strategies you can use to stay on track. Summer's actually a great time. Like, we always delay getting on track. Oh, I'll get back on track in the fall. it'll be easier. Or, oh, I'll get back on track Monday. Monday I'll start. Or there's all kinds of, right? Like we always like delay it. Oh, it's summer. It's not a good time to start. But I think it is a really good time to start summer.
Tell us.
Because you can be so much more, one reason, you can be so much more active in the summer. You can be outside longer, like, so going for walks, bike rides, and jogging or running, hiking. So you can incorporate so much more activity. You can work out at the park. There's just so much more opportunities to be active in the summer. Swimming, for example. And then we have so much more variety when it comes to healthy foods. We have our local farmers markets and that we can get nice local fresh food that tastes so delicious. Sometimes in the winter when we're at the grocery store, it's that you're shopping and it's just, there's not many options, right?
Yeah, it's
for fresh food.
Or growing your own.
Or growing your own garden is an option as well. So I feel like summer's a great time if you have been kind of thinking about making a shift or making changes. I think it's or getting back on track is the perfect time to get back on track. But we'll talk about, I guess, what you need to get on track or stay on track, eh?
Yeah, for sure. So the first thing for me to come up with help with solutions for you guys would be coming up with a plan. I know that's not like super exciting for most people, but you can't really avoid it in most cases, especially when it comes to summertime. If you're going camping or if you're going out with friends or family, whatever it is coming up with a plan of what you're going to have for snacks or food, because that's where most things, like most social gatherings. And when I say social gatherings, it doesn't even have to be with a bunch of friends and family. We know things are a bit different these days, but even if it's a couple of you, or even if it's 3 or 4 of you, whatever that looks like for you, it doesn't matter if there's 50 people or if there's 3 people. Like, you have to come up with a plan of what it is that you're going to eat. Otherwise, that convenience comes in of hitting the convenience store on the way out, which is a pack of 12 hot dogs and a bag of
buns,
potato chips. Or
buns.
White buns and potato chips. And like some marshmallows. Like, I would imagine most people driving down the freeway or the highway with a camper have those in their campers.
The staples of camping.
Yeah, you have to have those. But there are better options that you can choose and other things that you can do when it comes to making better choices. But it starts out with a plan. Like, you have to be like, okay, we're going to make a decision. First off, we're going to try to make a little bit better choices. And then what does that look like? You can actually write it down and say, here, this is what we're bringing with us this weekend. And we're going to the friends, or we're having a few people over, or we're going camping. This is what our list looks like.
A plan, definitely. What is that quote that you like?
If you fail to plan,
you plan to fail. Fail to plan, you plan. Whoa, say it. You say it.
If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
You plan to fail. Whoa, got twisted.
Can you even?
It got twisted in my mind.
You can talk.
I meant to say twisted. Twisted in my mind.
And then the other one is, if you're not part of your plan,
you're part of somebody else's.
So, and it rings so true. Like, if you're going to meet some friends, for example, and you don't really have a plan, and their plan is to have hot dogs and marshmallows, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm not even saying not to go buy them. I'm just saying, like, if you want to make changes or if you want to make a difference, then you'll need to make different choices. And you can get better. What I'm saying is that you can make better choices. So instead of hot dogs, maybe you get there's all kinds of different types of smokies or sausages. You can get them locally. You can get them less processed. You can get chicken, turkey, plant-based. Like, you can make better choices. Getting the old school conventional types of hot dogs, like, I think that could be pushed to the side and replaced with better options.
There's all kinds of different quality, like Drew said, and ones that even come without some of the regular toxins, right? So.
Yeah, and then the same thing with you if you're looking at your hot dog buns or your hamburger. And the same thing with the hamburgers, the same thing with the hot dog. I'm not just picking on hot dogs. I mean, I'm also talking about like what the main meal is based around, I suppose. So usually that's hot dogs or hamburgers. So when it comes to hamburgers, you can make better choices as well. And so if you're red meat, ground beef type of people, then you can find local farmers that actually produce that. And then you're also supporting local, which is nice. Then you can barbecue chicken, you can have chicken burgers, again, plant-based. There's all kinds of turkey. So I guess, again, what I'm saying here is, instead of going the cheapest route and seeing what's on the discount rack, that's probably expired. It's not going to help anyone out. make a different choice. We always say make better choices or choose better, and that will help you out in the long run.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
And then you don't have anything to add?
Well, what I was going to say has to do with fitness. So I don't know if you're ready to move on.
Not yet. So, and then when it comes to buns, it's the same deal. So you could go bunless, which is possible, but a bit more challenging. You can use lettuce as a wrap, which may be a bit odd in a social situation, but if you're alone or there's only a couple of you can do that. Or you can find better sources like whole grain, whole wheat types of buns, which might be a bit more challenging to find, but it does take more work. It does take more time and effort too. That's why we say like convenience is easy.
But you put the work in now or you put it in later,
right,
to try to catch up, right? So you take a couple extra steps or do a couple other things now in prevention so that when the fall comes, you're not trying to catch up or backtrack. What I've been noticing, or what I have noticed over the years with fitness, is in the summer, usually it starts to drop off. The gyms have less classes, for example. There's less people showing up to the gyms, and and a lot of times there's outdoor facilities and their classes drop, which is so crazy to me. But I mean, I know there's a reason why they have less classes in the summer is because there's less attendance, for example. But which is so crazy to me that the summer, when normally we have the most time, normally, right? Because maybe I'm speaking just for myself here, but a lot of times in the summer you have holidays and hours, so where you're not working. Like, for example, as a teacher, I always had summers off where you have more time to do things, but then everything, attendance is declining, right? Which is kind of crazy to me because it's the best time to be active and working out. So one of the biggest things that to stay consistent on as well, your fitness routine. We actually have Louise Siebert in our monthly membership who they have, I don't know if Louise is in here this morning listening, but she is at her camper for most of the summer. So she brings her fitness stuff with her and designates a little area in her camper for workouts, which is so cool. And then Shauna is in our monthly membership as well, in our fitness family as well. And when they go away camping, she'll continue doing her workouts, like picnic table workouts, for example, or workouts in the camper. And that's what it takes. And I think that's why it takes effort. It's like not easy, right? You're away. You have to do working out in a different area at a different time. Maybe that's not in your normal kind of bubble or your comfort zone. So first you have to go outside your comfort zone. Then you have some obstacles to hurdle over. Is that what we would say? Like a small space in the camper, for example. But it is possible. It just takes a little bit more effort.
Yeah, and it starts with that mindset of making a decision, like I'm going to be healthy, regardless of if we're camping or whatever weekends look like, or however that looks like. I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to make those choices. And then comes up with a plan, like what do your workouts look like? How are you going to complete them?
Yeah.
You know, the thing is that it's so crazy, like how many excuses we can make for ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
So
we all do it.
And we could justify just about anything.
Mm-hmm.
So you have September rolling around, and then people are still trying to camp around mid-September, September to late September possibly. And then you have October, kids are going back to school, and then it's October, and then you have October, November, maybe, or half of November, and then December. What comes in December? Like we start Christmas at mid-November in most cases, end of November for sure. So you have October, November, so you have 2 months to try to get back on track before you have another big challenge coming up, which could be harder than summer for some people.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be done. It has to be a lifestyle. If you're working around holidays, summertime, vacations, it's never going to work out.
Mm-hmm. And you have to put yourself first.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people struggle with that, like putting themselves before anything else, like putting your workout before anything else. And same with nutrition as well. A lot of times it comes down to self-worth as well. A lot of people that we've seen over the years, perhaps at the time they came to us, they weren't ready. But then we see them making miraculous changes years later or months later. And when we ask them, well, what changed? And a lot of times they said, well, before I didn't feel that I deserved it or I didn't feel I was worth it. But once you change that mindset and work on your own self-worth, that you are worth the time, you are worth the change, then that's when it starts to make, that's when the changes start to happen, right? So it really, it's kind of crazy, but it really starts from the inside, right? Your self-worth.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Stumped them.
no, I lost my train of thought. But you have to be ready for that change to make that change. And then the same thing with the people in your life, they have to be ready for that change. And then there's usually a tipping point in most cases. It was like, I looked in the mirror and I couldn't believe what I saw. Or I realized that I couldn't play with my kids or grandkids for more than 5 minutes. Whatever it was, there's usually a tipping point or almost like a rock bottom type of like, I knew I needed to make a change. I was so tired of not living the way I wanted to. And that's where that change comes from. So once that happens, that's where we see the most results. But it's hard to kind of hit that bottom where you're like, I have to make a change, because we're always like, almost like fluttering up, and then we drop back down, like fluttering up. But when you get so tired of being at the bottom and not getting to where you feel like you want to be or should be, then where the actual change happens, that makes all the difference. Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. And remember that, like, just to wrap things up here, you can make a change and you can make sure that summer isn't a time of weight gain. Just be conscious of your decisions, come up with a plan, and then understand, like, you can make different choices if it comes to food. Bring your own food. Or it always helps if people know you live a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's so funny how many people like try to keep it a secret. Like they don't want to tell anyone that they've been losing weight, even if you can't see it yet, or that eating better, or staying away from alcohol. We heard that quite a bit this summer. Actually, people like, I'm going to try to get through the summer without drinking alcohol or so much alcohol. Like, you can make better choices now or better options. And it doesn't have to be like, you don't always have to drink alcohol when you go to a friend's house, or when it's summertime and it's hot out. You don't always have to crack a beer or have a Caesar. Like, whatever it is that you have, you can make different choices, and that will help in the future as well.
In terms of like alcoholic beverages, when you think of how it makes you feel later, that usually deters you from drinking it now, right? If you think of the future. And that's usually one of the things I say, because, you get offered drinks like all the time throughout the summer, and maybe more than just the summer, and often we don't want to say no. I think that's a part of it too. Oh, would you like a drink? But you're like, how do I say? I don't really want one, but how can I say no? And that's usually one of the reasons I say, no thanks, don't want the booze blues. Because it really does affect us on an emotional level, right? Because it brings us, when we are having a few drinks, maybe a few extra drinks, it brings us to this like high, happy place. And then there's that like dip and that low. And that's what I really don't like.
And then
that dip.
And it doesn't just affect the weekend. Like, it's not Friday, Saturday. Like, you could have the blues Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Like, everyone's a bit different. Depends how much you consume. And we're not saying never drink. Like, don't ever have a beer. All we're saying is that all adds up. And if it's every weekend, that turns into every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, then you're going to run into some problems.
Yeah. Just be aware. Just be aware of how it makes you feel.
And imagine most people don't realize how many mood swings come with something like that.
Yeah.
It's a drug. Alcohol is a drug. So it messes with your brain and your overall chemistry, DNA.
All right, guys. Bye.
Adios, amigos.
Sayonara. Adios. Au revoir. Hasta la vista.
True Form Life.
All right, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of Exploring Mind and Body. Once again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our True Form Life community. You can always find us on Facebook.com/TrueFormLife. We post up there a couple times a day on our story. We're always trying to bring you more content around living a healthy lifestyle, whether that be nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. We also have free challenges that we do at least once a month. So if you follow us along there, you'll be able to join maybe a plank challenge or a squat challenge, Tabata challenge, challenge, whatever it may be. We'd love to have you join us. We're also on Instagram.com/DrewTadia. Again, we're posting up there a couple times a day along with our story, all dedicated to keeping you fit and healthy and on track. Our main website is trueformlife.com. If you want to check out some of our products, some of our services, or if you just want some great content from videos to blog posts and recipes and more, we got all that at trueformlife.com. Once again, thank you so much for being here. That's it. That's all I got. I'm out of here. As always, I'm your host, Drew Tadia, in health and fitness for a better world. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Exploring Mind and Body with Trueform Life's Drew Tadia, fitness expert. To find out more about the show, Drew Tadia, or to listen to past shows, visit exploringmindandbody.com.